Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today we're going to be reviewing the entire 2020 Harry Potter Advent Calendar. If you've been following along with my daily videos, you'll know everything that we've gotten. But today I'm going to go day by day all in the same video and show you guys what you get in this set. On day one of the calendar, we got Harry Potter himself. He also came with a little side table and a candle. You can see that his accessory is an incredible new printed 2x3 tile that advertises the Yule Ball and the performance of the Weird Sisters. Other than that, this minifigure is exactly the same as he was in 2019's Clock Tower set, which was also based on the Yule Ball, and then he has that typical older Harry alternate face. On day 5, we got this exclusive Cho Chang minifigure in her Yule Ball dress. Cho and the Patil twins are exclusive to this set, and they're fantastic exclusive minifigures. I love that print on her torso and that leg piece, which is just a 1x2 brick. And she uses the exact same style as Hermione by using that brick as her legs. It's a shame that they aren't printed on the back, but I really love the color that they chose for Cho's dress. I like her hairpiece, and then she does have that alternate face that was introduced in 2020. Day 10 gave us Ron Weasley. This is also the same minifigure that came in 2019's Hogwarts Clock Tower, and I think he's definitely the weakest figure of the set, although he's still not a bad minifigure, and he does have an alternate face as well. On day 15, we got Padma Patil. I really love her and her sister as minifigures. You can see that she has a dark pink torso and a vibrant coral leg piece. And she's wearing a lehenga, not a sari. I misspoke when I was doing my earlier advent calendar videos because I had forgotten what they wore in the movie. But she does have an alternate face. That's the same face shared between both sisters. And you can see that there is a bindi print between the eyebrows, which is really great to see. And if you've seen my daily videos, you know that she and her sister are some of my favorite Harry Potter minifigures ever made. On day 19, we got her sister Parvati. Now you can see that the printing on the two is very similar. They just have inverted torso and leg colors. So Parvati's torso is vibrant coral while the leg piece is dark pink. I really love that, like how they match each other. Although I do wish that their outfits in the movie had been closer to how they were described in the books, because I think they had like one of them was wearing pink and then one of them was wearing turquoise. But she does have the same head as her sister. It also would have been great if we had gotten like 2 new heads, like they did for Fred and George, so like 4 different expressions, because she and her sister aren't identical in the movies, although they are identical in the books. Here's Hermione Granger. We got her on day 23, so she was our final minifigure. And this is a fantastic minifigure, same one from the Clock Tower, but I loved it there and I love it here as well. That hairpiece is rarely used, so it's great to see it return on her. And this entire dress is just a really iconic outfit. The Yule Ball is such like an iconic part of Goblet of Fire in general. So it's really nice to get another one of this minifigure. And then you can see her alternate angry face on the back as well. I'm not going to stick strictly day by day as we go through the calendar. Instead, I'll be lumping builds that go with each other together. But I'll definitely tell you what days we got items on. So over here we have 3 mini builds. We have Hogwarts on the left, the Durmstrang ship in the middle, and the Beauxbaton carriage on the right. All of these came throughout days 2, 3, and 4 after the Harry minifigure. So for Hogwarts, you have the Great Hall, the Marble Staircase Tower, and then the Stone Bridge Tower next to it. At least I think this is supposed to be the Stone Bridge Tower. It could also represent the Viaduct entrance building. It's kind of hard to tell at such a small scale, but there's really no detail other than that, although I do really like that little Hogwarts build. In the middle, we have the Durmstrang ship. This one actually has like a little bit of functionality because you can really rock it back and forth like a ship, and I really love that feature. This is probably one of my favorite mini builds in the set. You can also adjust like this bow piece up and down, and you can even like rotate the sail around wherever you want to put it. So that's really awesome, and it has a surprising amount of detail for such a small thing. Lastly, we've got the Beauxbaton carriage. This one isn't one of my favorites. I think the horse looks okay at this scale. It's just like a little bit strange. I don't like how close it is to the carriage. I mean, it's like practically behind the wheels. And I just don't like how square the carriage is. It's basically a cube, and it's very round in the movie. I know that, at this scale, it must be very difficult, but I just don't love this compared to some of the other mini builds. And I took a look at all 3 of these together because, Goblet of Fire is about the Triwizard Tournament, and these are the 3 schools. And speaking of the Goblet of Fire, we have the actual goblet here. This is really great to see because we've gotten the Goblet of Fire in a couple of different sets, the micro scale Hogwarts and last year's Clock Tower. But this is the first truly minifigure scale one. So if we put Harry next to it, you can see how large it is next to a minifigure, which is how it was portrayed in the movie. So it's a large wooden goblet. It's built in a very interesting way. And then the flame on top is actually this glitter translite blue color. It's not a normal translite blue. So that's a really great addition. And I'm glad that we finally have a definitive Goblet of Fire. Next up, we've got Professor McGonagall's gramophone when she was teaching the kids how to dance for the ball. It's sitting on a table that we got on day 9, although the gramophone itself came on day 7. I really love this little build. When I got the table, I didn't realize that it was for the gramophone, but the legs are built in an interesting way. You've got a bottle of what some people think is pumpkin juice next to it. Sadly, the turntable can't actually rotate. You can move the needle if you want, but you can't spin the record. It would have been nice if they had given us a turntable piece and an actual record piece, but the gramophone can easily be removed from that table, and the way that the horn was built is pretty nice, and it's adjustable. Day 8 gave us this little low couch. This also looks great, although I think it is a little bit out of place in the Yule Ball setting. It's got the golden egg on it, and the red and then the gold feet make me think that it's from the Gryffindor common room. So it's kind of weird that it would be in the Great Hall, which is where most of the other decorations are from, although getting this gold egg piece again is always really nice because, as you can see, it's one of those painted metallic gold pieces, not a pearl gold. And I really just love getting those egg pieces in different colors. I like collecting all of the different colors that LEGO has made of them. So over here, we've got a fireplace with 2 windows. We got the fireplace and the window on the left on days 11 and 12. Although the second window didn't come until day 14, which was a little bit odd. I really love the build for the fireplace, though. Those are a staple of advent calendars, and that hanging stocking at an angle looks really great. We have an actual fireplace grate in front of that as well. And then the right window has a chocolate frog, while the left one has a little cup. Spinning it around the back, you can see that the windows were actually built facing upwards and then kind of stood on their side, which was an interesting technique. And you can detach these and rearrange them if you wish. But I really like this build. This is one of my favorite builds from the calendar as just pure scenery. And like I said, I think it's just a great addition. So day 13 gave us this Christmas tree on the left, the larger one. That's what broke up the fireplace and the windows, which I still think was a little bit odd, but I really love the build of this larger tree. And just the Yule Ball trees in general. You have the 2 mini ones here that were from day 16, and they just look fantastic, especially compared to the ones in the background on the back of this advent calendar box. Because I really appreciate how they're more white than green. I mean, they don't really show any green at all on these trees, but such as in the last trees for the advent calendar in 2019 for Harry Potter, they use the same kind of wedge plate technique, but in green. And I just really like the white ones with the blue crystals. I think that they look a lot more special, and they fit perfectly with the Yule Ball trees in the Clock Tower set as well. And that's what I really love about this advent calendar is it's just such a perfect expansion to that Clock Tower set. And I can't wait to finish putting all of these little scenery builds into that set. The mini trees are nice, although they aren't interesting in their builds at all, unlike the larger one. Day 17 gave us this little grand piano on the left, while day 21 gave us the music stand and the microphone. I really was excited for the piano build, but I don't love it in person. I just think it's very small and flat and just kind of lacking in shape. I also don't like the way that the legs were built because they're just 3 cones, and so it's quite easy to make this thing tip over, and it does stay in that position, which is kind of annoying. But I do love that keyboard tile that hasn't been used a lot, and it does have a place to stand up the sheet music. That's also a rarer print. I already have it from some Disney sets, but it's still really great to see it make a return. Day 18 and day 20 each gave us 1/2 of this table for the Yule Ball. I think that this is supposed to be the centerpiece table, the one with the giant ice castle surrounded by seafood, because as other people have pointed out, these are kind of like the shrimp that were built and hid inside. And so that is what I think they're supposed to represent. And then you've got a ton of glasses around the ice sculpture. I really love the way that they built those glasses. You can make a minifigure hold them because they are just on studs, but it's a unique thing that I haven't seen before. Now, this table was built in 2 halves, so you can separate them out and just have 2 separate tables. I think that also looks great because when it's together, the ice sculpture doesn't look as good as when it's apart. Like, I think that when the table is pushed together, if the Technic pins will just go back in, I think that, like, it just looks kind of strange to have it be so symmetrical. I know it's not exactly symmetrical, but I do like it when they're separated because it just gives you more display options. On day 23, we got a bunch of presents to put under the tree. Now, these are typical presents, like LEGO doesn't vary a lot in their present builds, but I really love the Ravenclaw one because they use round pieces, and I'm not used to that with LEGO. And then the Gryffindor present is actually Harry's wrapped broomstick. And I was right, this did happen in Prisoner of Azkaban, not Goblet of Fire. And again, I was really excited about this gift because it looks like it looks exactly like a wrapped broomstick. And when pictures of this calendar first leaked, I was like, oh my god, did they make a new mold for this? But they didn't. It's just really basic pieces. But again, they just put those pieces together perfectly. So I'm very happy with all of these Christmas presents. And our very last item, which we got yesterday on day 24, was the Triwizard Cup. LEGO has made a bunch of these. We've gotten one every single year of the reboots so far. And I do like this build. Again, it's quite large next to a figure. I'll just grab Cho so you can see that. But I don't mind that. It's, like I said, I think it looks great on display, but it's just not great for functionality because I shouldn't have thrown Cho away, but it is more difficult to get them to grip like the snake head pieces from Ninjago that they use, whereas the 2 previous Triwizard Cups were much better for minifigure play. I also just thought that this was an odd build to close the calendar out on. I think the presents would have made a lot more sense, seeing as how it's more holiday themed. This could have come earlier in the calendar, in my opinion. You do get quite a few extras in this set, but what I think is the best is getting all of these extra wands. You can see there's just a ton of them because every minifigure came with 2 wand sprues. So that means that every character came with 3 extra wands, which gives you 18 extra wands in this set alone. And I already have a ton of extras from other Harry Potter sets, so I can't wait to take all of these to stock Ollivanders in the Diagon Alley set. Here's the front of the box. What I love the most about this is that you can see the micro scale Hogwarts in the background. It's great to see that like integrated with the minifigures. On the top, there's a little to and from sign along with that actual size of Harry. You can also cut the seals over here and just slide the entire tray of like days out if you don't want to open it day by day. This is what it looks like folded down with that playmat. That's what I've been using as like the backdrop for all of my videos. And I still really love it, even with all of the doors punched open. I love that backdrop with all of the Christmas trees. Although the actual back of the box looks like this, and it does show you like what comes out of some of the days there. There are no instructions for this set. If you've never gotten an advent calendar before, all of the instructions are just put on the doorways. That's kind of a flaw in some instances because some builds are like kind of complicated, but most of these were pretty easy to do without like actual instructions. So my overall thoughts on this advent calendar are extremely positive. This is my favorite advent calendar that LEGO has ever produced. I only started buying them last year because Harry Potter finally got one. I had no interest in advent calendars before that. Like I like the festive Star Wars minifigures, especially, you know, stuff like Santa Darth Vader and Santa Yoda, but I'm not about to buy a $40 advent calendar that kind of sucks just to get one minifigure, because my biggest problem with the licensed advent calendar, which has always been Star Wars, is that it's just a bunch of useless little micro builds of ships and then some minifigures, some of which are interesting, some of which are just really boring reuses from the sets, and then just like junk like weapons racks and stuff like that. Because there is no Christmas in Star Wars, but there is Christmas in Harry Potter, and because of that, LEGO can give us great advent calendars like this one. We have some micro builds here, you know, like Hogwarts, the Beauxbaton and Durmstrang builds, and then we have like actually useful things like the Goblet of Fire and the Triwizard Cup, which still aren't exactly like fitting the scene, but they're minifigure scale objects that can easily be used in other places. But aside from those objects, pretty much everything here is just minifigure scale, usable, and can easily be integrated with the existing sets. We have like the fireplace, the couch, the gramophone, the music stuff, like the Christmas trees, the tables. All of that stuff is really great because you can just throw it all in with the clock tower set and have like a huge, like grand Yule Ball scene. That's what I love about this calendar, is that it expands on a scene like from the movies, just one sequence, and it fits an already existing set. To me, that's the perfect advent calendar. Last year's was pretty good, although it did still have some filler, like how 4 days were just banners in different colors for the houses. And so for next year, I'm really excited about what we'll see. I think like a Christmas at Grimmauld Place advent calendar could be really cool, or an expansion of this year's Astronomy Tower by doing the Slug Club Christmas party. I don't think anything will be quite as interesting as the Yule Ball, but I mean, I hope that they try to come up with something that can top this calendar. So overall, I'm super happy. We have 3 exclusive minifigures. Yes, the trio are repeats, but I mean, they were only available in a $90 set. So I'm really okay with them being reused here, especially when they're reusing fantastic minifigures like Hermione. So those are my thoughts on this advent calendar. I highly suggest buying it if you haven't already. I know Christmas is over now. I hope you all had a very nice holiday if you are celebrating it. But you can find these for like $20 on Amazon, and it retails for $40. At $40, I think it's a little bit expensive. That's why I wait for sales, because I got this one for $30 and then I actually got a second one for like $20, which I'm really happy about because I will never say no to like duplicates of those exclusive minifigures. But that's it for today, so don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.